All right, let's make sure that it's working. I'm gonna go to my YouTube channel, check it out, and see. I just like to start. There we go. Oh, it says it's live, so it's gonna start 7:30. So I went live, and it probably will automatically go at 7:30 here. So, hello there, everybody. My name is Tom Riley, and this is also Tom Riley. I am in Nebraska of the United States, and he is, where are you, Tom?
I am in Hackney in London, United Kingdom. Welcome everyone and hello everybody.
Hello. So I
And
hope
hello
that
Tom.
hello to you. So where is your town that you live, like a suburb of London, or is it in up in the country, or
It's a suburb of London, Hackney. It's like the East End. So
end of London? Okay. Well, I live in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska, basically. I joke with my friends about it. If you look on the map, I told Tom this as we were getting ready here, that it is the dead center marker of the United States. I'm going to start off with myself, um, talking about how I got into the Oculus Quest, now called Meta Quest, which a lot of people aren't liking, but hey, that's what it is. I actually was doing an artwork piece of artwork for someone because I'm an artist. It was a wood burning picture, and he, in return, said, "Hey, would you do this for me?" And I have this VR headset that I'm not going to use anymore. I'm like, okay, what is it? And so I looked it up, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, pretty sweet. And I said, okay, let's do it. And that's how I came about my headset. I didn't even actually pay for it, and I started playing different games to see what I liked, and got in Death Unchained and kind of fell in love with it. What about you, Tom? How did you get into the game?
well, pretty much by accident the same, really. Like as we were saying before, like literally my daughter asked for one for Christmas. She was like, I want a Quest 2. And I'm like, what the hell's a Quest 2? So I said to my partner, like, oh, my daughter wants a Quest 2. And obviously it was so expensive, didn't even think about buying it.
Yeah,
It was like, no, it was way out of the price range of a Christmas present.
yeah.
And at Christmas my partner bought it for me instead.
So she, she
So
decided to give it to you as a gift. Huh? That was
exactly,
nice.
she's probably regretting it now though, do you know what I mean? Probably.
Yeah, I tend to play mine at night, when everybody is asleep, because I don't sleep much. So I try not to let it hinder our family time, because my wife would get upset. So, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
she's
true. I
pretty
try not to do the same too. So
yeah, she's pretty forgiving and letting me do the things that I like to do to keep myself busy. So, but yeah, so I got into the game, and I fell in love with it. Now, when I first started playing, I totally sucked. I mean, I was so frustrated playing this game that I was like, I can't get past a certain point. So I started looking at these other players, and following their advice. And after, some practice, I started getting better and better. And so it was a challenge to get a higher and higher score. And I'm sure it's the same with anybody that plays this game, because I see on our Facebook group that people are always asking questions and getting frustrated. How can you get past Gabriel? And how do you get? And so, how do you feel? How do you feel when you first started playing?
oh Lord, when I first started playing, getting to 100,000 was like I was top of the league. I could have been number one ranked in the world. That's how it felt just to get to 100,000. When you look on the leaderboard now and you see like 15, 17 million, you think to yourself, okay, I've just about cracked my million mark. Like what?
Right.
How do I get this far?
I don't know how, like we were talking about a little bit earlier. It's like I don't. These guys must spend an exuberant amount of time playing this game to get those high scores. and not die. I mean, how do they do it without dying? I mean, they must have cracked the code of the game or something to figure it all out. I was watching the Q&A that just happened as I was talking to Tom in London about here, and the, the one guy who's at 30 million something said he's been playing the same game for months, not hours, not days, months, to get to where that score is without dying. And he
Wow.
said that it takes a lot of planning and strategy, and the biggest thing that all of the guys said is learn when to run away, when to retreat and fall back,
Mm.
so that you, like, especially when you get into a mob of the enemy there, you just have to learn how to ditch out and and get the heck out of there before you
Yeah,
die.
but what do you do when you hear that screaming sound of that orphan child begging for you to stick an arrow in her head? Do you know? And you walk around the corner and you find 50 people there, and you think, okay, what do I do now? Do I kill you or do I run away? Actually, I'll kill
Well,
you first, then I'll run away.
I've learned over time that the orphan is the biggest enemy. That's who that is. That's the orphan, and I decided a
Yes.
long time ago. It's like if they're not right, if that thing is not right close near me, I am not chasing it wherever it goes, because it's going to lead you right into the middle of a mob of enemy, and I'm not chasing it. No way. Especially, and one of my biggest things that I hate, and I've learned how to handle it for the most part in the beginning cycles, is the pits where you have to go down, where you get the bonus points.
Look,
You know, I hate
many of
going.
them there. The pit of despair literally was well picked, well named, Super Bright. I'll give you that, because that gave me a lot of despair for a long time.
Right. The words fit the problems, because
Oh,
when
most
those
definitely.
when you see 10 ghosts coming straight at you and you're trying to pick which ones you're going to shoot first, and your arrows don't hit that little white circle in their chest just right, you're going to be getting a life sucked out of you as they
Oh,
as they
I have run around so fast that every time I turn around and to see more and more ghosts behind me, I'm just like, no way, this is a joke.
one one of the tactics that I've learned that might help is, when you first get into a room, try and get yourself into a quiet corner and just start shooting your arrows or your bolts, because most I use the crossbow, is shoot them out and just lead those things into you. Try
Yeah,
to bait them, and
exactly. That's the best strategy to do it. That you use them as magnets. You just say, guys, look, I'm here. Come and get me. I'll take you on one at a time. Come on, let's go.
and you just shoot them out, and see how many come. And when it starts getting quiet, you creep out a little bit and you do it some more, because this is just a game, and there's an algorithm set up, and when you cross certain sectors or points, I don't know how it works in this game, especially with the more advanced programming now, but I'm sure that if you cross a certain point, then certain other things get triggered.
Well,
So
I'm sure because for some bizarre reason, I could not figure out how them skeleton archers are so accurate from so far away.
wait till you get up into those higher cycles. You probably you realize this, but all of the archers, the monks, the skeleton archers, even the stupid little cherubs, which I call fat flying chickens, because if you look at them, they're shaped just like a chicken. Um, that they look like they're facing one way and they shoot the other way at you. Have you ever noticed
Yeah.
that when you're playing? They look like they're sideways, and all of a sudden the arrow. I'm like, how the heck did they shoot sideways at you? I don't get how
Yeah.
that works. The
Well, it was
mechanic.
today. I was playing alone. I was in the pit of despair. Actually, you saying that, And then all of a sudden, I could hear one of the abominations walking around, and I'm like, "Where are you? I can't find you." And he came out of the wall,
Right.
and
Those
I
little
was like,
glitches.
"How did you come out of the wall? What the hell is going on here?"
I've had that in the Abyss with cherubs, I'm like, "Where is that stupid little cherub?" And he's, like, hiding way in a corner of a roof somewhere, halfway in and halfway out, and, there are those glitches in the game, that are frustrating, but there have been lately a couple that have been to my benefit anyway, when I'm fighting Gabriel, and I don't know if you've run into this, Tom, where Gabriel gets, stuck in midair, and you just like, "Oh, look, he's not going anywhere," and you just start nailing him, and he
Oh
dies,
yeah,
and so I think they Super Bright, because I sent a message, and Super Bright said they're working on fixing all those in the next update here coming up, 'cause,
mm,
we only have a few days left in this season, and then everything is goes back to ground zero. I mean, you don't lose your bonus points or your status or anything like that.
no.
You get rewards and things like that. And that's the other thing. I wish that they come up with some new bonuses when the end of the season comes. And I kind of have mentioned that in a couple of messages to them because it only goes so far. I mean, the armor, or not the armor, the skins for the crossbow and the shields and things like that. Um, you gain as you gain your status, you get different ones or something like. I think they're working on things like that. But I really like this game because it is a challenge. And my goal right now, I'm sitting at 200 on the leaderboard for crossbow, and I want to be in the top 100. As you guys, if you watch my videos, you see me saying, "I'm trying to get to the top 100." That's my goal. And every time
That's definitely my goal for the new season. Season 5 definitely going to be the one where I'm going to be pushing for top 100. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I also the one thing I like about this game is that they do have every time you play, the maps reconfigure differently, and so
Mm.
I'm sure that they're going to do that again when they add the new maps in the different areas. That every time you play, it's configured in a different way. Now at this point, I have learned all of them, and I know how to handle them, and I have a plan. And I think that's one of the important things when you play is to have a plan when you play. How do you play the game, Tom?
I play very slowly. Unless I hear that screaming orphan voice, and then I'm just like, I'm coming for them 25,000 points.
Yeah,
Like, otherwise, I take it very strategically, quite slowly, creep round corners,
right.
use everything to my advantage. All the surroundings around me, hide behind pillars.
Yeah.
Use the little oh, when you put it down and you move across quickly.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The
Yeah,
teleport. Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, I use the teleport thing sometimes. Especially when I'm coming onto the bosses, I tend to use that.
The one thing I don't use a whole lot because it's just an extra motion to me is the shard thing, where you can dodge back and forth quickly with the shard. I
I do
just
it some. I use it very rare. Very, very rarely do I actually use it. But if I'm in a difficult situation and I'm not quite being able to turn around as quickly, then okay, I'll quickly use it to shuffle away, like quickly throw it 5 times to the side and just quickly bounce out of an area quickly.
well, some of the guys that I've watched, a couple of them are Rico at 50. He's been kind of my mentor guy in the game. I found him early on when I was looking up YouTube videos, and I always say YouTube, you could find anything you want to learn on there. So as I was playing, I said to myself, there's got to be somebody who's made a gameplay video. And so I looked him up and I found him, and he constantly uses that thing. He's got it down to a science. And Also Silver Tongue Devil, which I really like him because he answers questions, and he was gonna watch actually, which that's the nice thing about some of these top players. Some of them are they're just regular guys like you and I, playing the game
Yeah,
like you
most
and I,
definitely.
and so they're gonna help you out, and he has been one of the guys that has helped me out quite a bit, and as he's in our group also. I think his name is Robert Sutton, and I believe that's him. I could be wrong.
Mm.
um, there's another guy in our group that I talk to a lot. Um, I have to look him up, the guy's name up, because I'm just learning who all the people are. But I really appreciate our Facebook group, and if anybody is gonna watch now or later, I appreciate whoever has subscribed to my channel, and hope that I get more people watching me. I'm not an expert by any means, but I try to just pass down what I've learned from other people and have fun playing, and that's the only reason why I made my YouTube channel. But
Well, first
um,
and foremost, that's it. I've got to take my hat off to Beanie, actually, ex Beanie.
okay,
Like I found his videos really quite early on into learning this game, and a lot of his videos were the ones that kind of made me like use certain things to my advantage and stuff and take my time. He was the one that always used to turn around and say, "Take your time, plan ahead." And I was just like, okay, cool. And I kind of used a lot of him. So I take my hat off to him, Beanie. So well done. Thank you for helping me.
yeah, I do appreciate every one of those guys that are out there. I was just gonna ask you, who do you look up to when you're playing this game? Because all of us, especially on our group, they are always asking questions, and I try to lead people to other people who know more than I do, because I'm not an expert at this game, and there are guys that have played this Atlas Rise. He's one of the top number one players, and he's at 30 million points, which blows my mind on how that happens. But I'm
He's
sure
probably
that
taken 3 months of his life to get there.
uh,
But
I, I you know that I should look up the guy's name who I'm trying to think of while I'm sitting here. He's gonna be mad at me that I didn't remember his name, but I'm terrible at that stuff. And forgive me, I don't mean to talk over you. So if you want to have you have something to say. But Sean, his name's Sean Eckert, I think is his last name. He had posted just recently that what if you can see, when you die, you can see all the people that you've killed. All of us have seen that a lot. All the
oh, the
death.
rows of the dead behind you. Yeah.
Yeah, so when you get into those millions of points, like when I had died with after my top score, I looked up at that thing and I took a picture of it. I'm like, wow, that took a lot of time to get there. And if
You
those
know
guys,
what? That would be interesting. Oh, actually, this is actually a shout out then to any of these top players out there. When you do get these massive level one, level two, level three scores, please take a picture of the death toll that you've got. I really want to know how many lines you're going to
I
fill the
don't think
screen.
I don't think they want to die at that point, because I made a joke on the Facebook group that, yeah, that's the point where you take your quest and you throw it against the wall and you stomp on it and you just say, "I'm done," because the frustration that would be after all that work, dying would be mind blowing to me. But I mean, it's just a game. We're all having fun, but still, especially as a guy, that when you're working hard at trying to get a goal done, and then all of a sudden it dies right in front of you, you get
Well, it's
that.
like today. I was playing today, and I got to 998,000, and I was just no, come on, please, really, just that close to the million again, please.
Yeah, how long did that take you to do? Uh, I think
About two days.
2 days, yeah, worth of time, and Yeah, I it's the same for me, when and then I look back at that death toll that I'm like, "Okay, I'm not even gonna look at it anymore. I'm just gonna go on to the next game because I got tired of looking at my failure, that list, that board of failure, I call it. When you die, you see, where you've been, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm just gonna keep going forward and do it again." And I
Mm.
think that's how this game, um it's addicting because you're constantly trying to win and beat your high score, and I think that's what makes it fun,
Yeah,
to
well, not just that, the game in itself is good. The game in itself, I get a lot of people saying to me, "But you're just doing the same thing again and again and again." And I said, "No, you are, but you're not. It gets harder. It gets more difficult. It gets more thoughtful. You have to think more differently. You have to be more strategic with your arrows,
yeah,
and but ultimately, like I was going back to before, what led me to this game was looking up reviews for VR games, because I found this sort of like quite late in the games. And when I was looking up the reviews, all I could, it was consistently on a lot of Facebook groups, one of the top games, primarily because of the gameplay, but also because of like the designers, like Superbright. Everybody praised them. Everybody praised the way that they listened to their fans, supporters, players, advice, stuff like that. And to be honest with you, ever since I got the game about 18 months ago, I love it. I think it's absolutely great. I think it's an amazing game. I play it as much as I would like to play, as much as I can when I get some time. And I just love the whole gameplay of it. I think it's amazing, and I can't, I can't praise the game enough.
I'm pretty much the same about it. Super Bright is an amazing game development company, and
Mm.
they're more than willing to answer your questions. And they do say that they are coming out with some new games. They kind of alluded to that in the Q&A thing, or actually Xbini did, and
Mm.
I think
Do you
that
think
will.
this is about the right time Do you think this is about the right time for us to ask Super Bright for some free T-shirts by any chance?
I don't know. I'd like to see some gear. I think they talked about that in the Q&A a little bit, that people are asking for different things, so that would be
Yeah,
nice to
the
have.
merchandise would be nice.
Yeah, that would be, some gear would be cool, and merch or whatever they want to call it. Yeah, that would be
Mm.
great. I think there's still, I think altogether, I don't know what your opinion is, but altogether, virtual reality kind of blew up when Mark Zuckerberg put out the Oculus Quest, because they are at the top of the board as far as the sales in their game headsets, because it is the most affordable headset out there. As much
Oh,
as
by
people,
far,
as
by
much as
far.
people want to bad talk, Facebook and Meta and whatnot, you know, I, I don't really care about any of the politics of all that, honestly. But I just
Nah.
like that it's a good headset. I mean, I enjoy it. I have fun with it. And regardless of whether it's called Quest or Meta or whatever, I'm going to continue to play it because, it's just something that I like to do. And I've always looked forward to it ever since I was a kid. When I started playing video games, I played Pong. I don't know, you probably don't, if you know what that is.
Yes, I remember Pong.
Yeah. And then the Atari 2600, and I didn't really have those. I went over to friends' houses because my family couldn't afford it. But my
Yeah.
friends, so anytime I was over at my friend's house, we'd just play those games, and I would go to actual arcades and put the quarters in the video games, and, and spend time playing there. I was a bit of a nerd
Yeah,
growing up.
playing Space Invaders, Destroyer, Asteroid, yeah, Pac-Man. We had all of them days. They were great fun.
Yeah, those classic games that now you can play on your phone. Can you? I mean, really, can think about it for a while. Those of us that are in this group that are older, all those
Exactly.
stand-up games that you used to pump your quarters into, now you can play it all right here on this thing, your personal home computer in the size of this phone right here. And
How
it's,
technology has evolved.
oh, it's crazy how fast things are going and how fast things get outdated. So even in
Yeah.
the VR world, things are developing so quickly. It's just crazy. But I can't wait to see what happens with this game in the next season. And
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I really am. So
what do you think
it's
about
going to be good.
I was gonna ask you, what do you think about the Desolation area? Do you play that much?
Desolation, I like it, but I'm getting frustrated with some of the challenges that need to be achieved during
Yeah.
it. So I'm going to have to look through some YouTube videos to see if I can find how to do them.
Me and the bats don't get along. I hate when they're flying around your head and you can't see where they are.
That's the one. That's the one that does my head.
And I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure there's a technique to do it where you can gather up 10 of them and you have to kill them. That's one of the achievements is to
I
kill 10.
can't. I can't do it. I can't. I've run around Desolation and I've had like 12, 18 bats chasing me, and I'm like, how do I kill? I've shot an exploding catalysm. Nothing. I'm like, how do I do this? How do I kill them all in one go? I have no idea.
Well, I think that Silver Tongue Devil has a video on how to do those things. So I don't. I'll have to send you the link. But
Oh,
yeah, there are
definitely.
some of those achievements that I've been putting off because I don't like the certain arrows that you have to use for those. I want to say menial achievements, and just the things that I haven't gotten to. I think I only have uh 4 or 5 that I have to finish off to be 100%. And one of the tips that he gave, Silver Tongue Devil gave, is that when you get to that 100% of your achievements, that's when your points start exponentially growing, I think he said. And
Really. Once you get, so you have to get that 100% to be able to really
if I
boost the through.
if I understood it correctly, I think it helps. It helps. I don't know how much it does, but it helps to help you get more bonuses. I guess the word would be. And there are those different bonuses like the executioner bonus where you just keep hitting them one right after the other. Headshots. The
Yeah.
headshots are important. The distance of the headshots, your accuracy, all those things play into your score too. Um,
Okay,
there,
I've got a question for you. What's your favorite arrow?
wow, that's hard. That's a hard one. I like have in my quiver, I guess I want to call. I like Wrath of God, Cupid. Uh, what's it called? The Cupid one, and
Yeah, Cupid's Wrath.
and always cataclysms of any kind. Mostly, I hope to get Cataclysm 5, and then I like Curse of God. You know, and those are always my backups. Once I get those, I'm set to go. And then for like, I try to get to um take care of Anakim. It is the balls of lightning or the landmine ones. So
Oh
like,
yeah, the trap ones. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
yeah, so because the technique that I do when I try to do anyway is I saw it in a video where that you launch these things at his thrown stairs, and as he starts walking down, it takes some punch out of him, and then Silver Tongue Devil has he calls something snow globing where he uses that hand of is it hand of God where it puts the slow
Yes,
motion.
the hand of God. Where it puts the snow globe up. Yeah.
And he said he uses there's a technique that he talks about that he uses that you can use because and then he's figured out the pattern of how the monks um uh pop into the hall there. So
Oh, what the 5 left, 5 right, 5
yeah,
round the corner. Yeah.
correct, correct. Yeah,
Mm,
that's what I'm talking about there. Now, I haven't gotten that down because every time I get to cycle 5, I end up having to deal with him there, and that's where I die.
mm.
Every almost every time, and so I'm trying to get that technique down so that I can get past cycle 5 because I don't think I'll have a problem with any of the other areas because I have a route that I've planned out that I do. And, like, a couple of the ones that I have, like, when you deal with that main hall in, Paradise Lost, is after I finish the bottom hall, and, you know where I'm talking about, where you come up to that one great hall where there are,
Yeah,
like, a lot of enemies there. I jump up on the, pinnacle of one of the, far outside, sides where the one door where you look up at the one doorway, I jump up on there and I start launching things in there that I jump back down because as soon as you do that, the cherubs are gonna start popping up around you and the witches are gonna start coming at you, so I try to avoid them. And, most of the time, that works, or what I also do is when I'm on underneath, I take the curse of God, and I launch it up into the floor,
yeah,
and it starts
that's the
killing
one.
them. Yeah, and or you can use cataclysms too, and just punch them up into the floor, and
Mm.
it starts killing enemies before you even get up there.
Well, to be honest with you, what you're saying there, the curse of God, for the whole of like the second part, the sky. Oh God, I keep forgetting. You just said the name of it because you got purgatory first, then
Paradise
you
Lost.
have.
Paradise Lost.
That's it, yeah, Paradise Lost. For Paradise Lost, literally, the curse of God for me is my weapon that I use because I'll literally fire one into a building and just leave it, and
Yeah,
then every 20 seconds I'll throw another one into a building, and eventually that's my slow pace way if I want to get a good score.
yeah.
I use the curse of God massively to my advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you start losing some bonus points when you're doing those specialty arrows like that,
Well,
and I've
yes, you do.
so, when I first started playing, this was one of the things that I made a point of doing is to not depend on specialty arrows unless things are getting really, really hairy where, there's
Mm,
no choice. And so I use a lot of times I just use the vanilla arrows as people are calling them now. And, I try to do my best to always just use those and take out enemies with headshots and long distance shots. I'm also a slow and steady player. I'm not one to just jump right in and, get close up and, unless I know
yeah,
I'm confident and start nailing headshots, because as soon as you do that, that's when you're gonna die. And
mm,
I take advantage of doorways because once they all start crowding into a doorway, they don't move. And I use cover as much as possible. That's one of my things
yeah.
I say in my videos. I try to use things and I don't stand out in the open and I watch.
Yeah.
I
Always use your environment to your advantage.
Yes.
That is by far the best bit of advice you can give to anyone.
And and the other thing that I tell people is that, keep your head moving on a swivel, moving around and use your ears because if you have a good headset or a good, you can hear very well. The sound when things pop up like cherubs, you can always hear them pop up next to your right or your left.
You know exactly where they are. Yeah.
Yeah, so that and the only time I have a difficulty, honestly, is and that's not because I don't play standing, so I don't move around because 'cause I'm a seated player, because
Mm.
I'm disabled, I'm in a wheelchair, I say that a lot in my videos, so I can't turn quickly, and when those dumb cherubs or whatever go behind me, that's when I have difficulty, so I have to turn behind me as much as possible and shoot behind my
And use
back.
you probably having to use the right stick as well to flick the screen around a bit quicker as well.
Yeah, and so, I use my toggles, quite a bit, and, so that's my disadvantage personally to playing this game, but I've adapted, and so I just use I use my environment and watch for things. But so I know I don't want to keep you much longer. It is getting later for you because
Yeah, no, I just want to finish off with a couple of little things because we've just spoken about Anakim the Destroyer. We've just
ah,
spoken about Gabriel. Now we need to speak about the big man himself, old
yeah, he's
Anakim.
making it, and
Yes.
I have learned a
If,
technique.
if you check him out in one of the videos that I put up recently, there was me walking around saying you cannot take a man seriously that doesn't have a winky. So as far as I'm concerned, when you see that statue as you walk in, it does not intimidate me because I just look and look.
Right.
Like, where is it, mate? Where is it? Hello, come on, let's go. I can stand up and
Well,
beat you. So he's
the great part about it is that those cherubs, when they fly at you, you can see it, theirs. Because I mean, I call them fat flying chickens, but if you look closely, you can see their little winky hanging down. I'm
got
like,
that
come
little
on,
tinky winky hanging down. It's hilarious.
I don't want to see that. Come on, but they have put it in there,
Yeah,
which
because one of the things I did notice, and that was probably one of my biggest frustrations when I first got the game, was really trying to complete the final boss of that level one. Anakim the Destroyer was literally would destroy my whole soul when I played that level. It was just like he would constantly. I think it took me 15 attempts and then about 3 hours of YouTube videos before I finally actually achieved it.
eh, you know, I think it's gonna get interesting when you and I both get into those higher cycles, and then
Mm.
if we do ever do this again, and we look back to our conversations now and realize that, you know, wow, that wasn't such a big deal back then, but now, we'll have new challenges. You know what I mean? Because I don't know how those guys do it. Because I'm sure the pace, once you get into those high cycles like these guys in the millions, I can't
Mm.
even imagine how fast the game. And they say that I heard guys say how every archer has a laser beam folk shooting in style in the upper levels. So
Yeah,
that's
I
no
believe
longer,
that.
you really have to watch every angle because everyone is very accurate. Like that one red monk that shoots those
Mm.
arrows straight at you. And the speed increases also and the numbers of the enemies. Because I notice when I get into the higher cycles, the number of enemies that are there are increased.
It wasn't
So
just that, the numbers that was there, because when I got to cycle 5, I remember like where it would only take me two or three shots to now just kill a normal like dead one. It was taking 10 shots, like really? Like it was just taking so many more hits just to kill normal people.
yeah, like 3 or 4 headshots. I'm like, so you're sitting there trying to kill one enemy with 10 headshots, and all these other ones are coming at you. I mean, I always go back to the Monty Python movie, run away. That part. That's all you
Exactly.
can do is just dodge them and go up on the rooftop or something, where they don't. Now that's the one thing I did learn to get around the skeletons is once you lead them in and you jump up on a roof, they don't follow you. I learned that. I
Mhm.
don't know, but once you jump back down, they're right there, so you have to be ready for them.
Yeah,
But
it's just the archers. It's just them skeleton archers that get me the most. They're the ones that kill me the most.
I don't even bother going down in any of the pits in the higher cycles. I know people are going to tell me I'm crazy. You're losing out on a lot of points, but I just haven't gotten the confidence up yet to go down in there. I attempted it a few times, and I gotten killed. So I'm sure I'm going to try more and more to learn how to do it because I want to get those extra points down there.
I would suggest you do. I would suggest you do because I was the same at the beginning, and then I was like, okay, I need to push a little bit more. Let's try these pits because a lot of people were saying that you really boost your points with the pits.
Yeah.
And so now I try not to do them unless I'm really low on health and I don't really have
Right.
anything within the arrow department, and then I'll be like, look, I'll give that a miss. I know I'm going to die, so I'm not willing to take that chance.
Well,
So, but
each
just moving on to another one quickly then. So, Siege of Heaven. What are you hoping for the new updates in Siege of Heaven?
well, my biggest thing is I want to be able to play it because I tried playing it with the bow a bunch of times, and I like how it's set up that, enemies aren't coming at you, but the challenge of like a shooting gallery kind of thing where you rack up your points. But I really wish they'd put the crossbow in there. I don't know why they didn't do that to
Yeah.
begin with, or they
Mm.
didn't think about it. But especially for us players who are disabled or have to play seated, the crossbow should be an option in any decision that the developers make.
Yeah, I
A lot
second
of
that.
everybody's got their own opinion about it. They say it's not challenging to use the crossbow, yada yada, whatever. But I mean, there are those of us that wouldn't play the game unless that was available.
See, now
So
the easiest reply to that is to say to them, sit in a wheelchair and do it.
exactly, I don't. I mean, I
That's
don't
the
like you.
only reply you can say to them. Sit in a wheelchair, then come back and tell me it's easy.
I
Do you know
I
what I
always
mean?
there are a lot of disabled VR players out there now because it gives them a kind of a freedom to be able to move and play. And
Yeah,
it's a game, like I say, all these are games, but it's make them enjoy. And I think Sprite has been a great. They've given us a lot of free stuff, content without us having to pay extra. A lot of companies
that's
will
right.
charge for every update or new parts of the game, and they haven't
Mm.
done that, which they must be. I don't know how they're making money, but they do because the way they handle things, I think, is people like the company better. So, but yeah, as far as being a disabled person, that helps those of us out there a lot. Now it's an it always should be an option. Now if they made it less of a, I want to say, a convenience, like, no crossbow in the world, rapid fires, like we can do with,
Exactly.
but I don't want them to do this, but if they slowed it maybe, I don't know. I don't, that would just bring more of a challenge, but at the same thing, they taking those is hard because of the program. So, but um I really I really appreciate you being willing to do this. I just thought it would be fun because we both have the same name to make this.
It has been fun, and it's been great to meet a fellow Tom Riley IDU player. So
Yeah.
it's been an absolute pleasure, actually. So thank you very much for reaching out to do this. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I hope like we can do this again in the future as we gain experience. And I hope to do this with other people off of our Facebook group. I really appreciate all you guys out there that are watching. I'm sure Tom does also. And you know, that's all. I mean, I don't think there's much more. We could talk probably for hours more on this game, and
easily, quite easily, definitely. But you know, the one thing I will turn around and say, super bright, keep the good work
yeah,
going. You've got an awful lot of fans, and you've got an absolutely great game. And big up to all of the players, big up
yeah,
to everybody who's watching right now. You
yeah.
know, one love to you all. God bless everybody, and keep loving and keep playing.
Yeah, keep up is what I always say in my videos. Stay safe as you're doing it. No VR accidents. You see those crazy
Most definitely.
people are and all kinds of things. But thank you, Tom, again, and thank
Thank
you
you
for
very
staying
much.
away.
God bless you, Tom, man. You look after
Probably,
yourself.
I'm probably gonna go play games right now. So you guys have a great day, and we appreciate you all. Bye bye. Bye,
Bless you.
Tom.
See you on the other side. See you on the other side.
Okay.
Bye bye.